And we are right back with our final match of the night. Envy going up against Splyce. And I had a bunch of questions to the guys up on the desk, and I kind of want to ask one to you. They were talking about Nolson like this was maybe the first step in maybe a bigger picture post Anaheim. But could you argue that this is more of like a tryout for Nolson right now?
Yes, and here's why. I think if Splyce had time, they would probably try to move a different piece, right? Like, I think if you consider this, you consider Anaheim as well. I don't know what placing they would need, but maybe when you only have 3 to 4 days to move a player, we know how difficult it is with contracts in place. Nolson could show these guys something.
So would you disagree with the sentiment that there's not a lot of pressure on him? Like there's actually quite a bit considering the circumstances around the small
well, there's not pressure on them to perform because he's in a substitute position, but if he overperforms, right, if he plays a lot better than what people expected, and Looney's a champion, he's a captain, has a lot of leadership, he's going to know what to look for.
Well, all of this, all of these Pro League matches, all of the time in Columbus, away from my girlfriend and incredible puppies, Copper and Todd, are to get to this point. It's a CWL Finals. It's at Miami Beach. It's going to be insane. It's Thursday, May 23rd is where we're kicking it off. And that is, we've got the play-in part of it. We've got, what, like $1 million plus. So there's so much money on the line with that as well. It's shaping up to be one of the crazier events of the year, and it's just good because it feels like this is what everything's building towards. Like, yes, everything builds towards champs, but the first check in the checklist is going to be Miami.
Yeah, so I mean, we're going to see frequency hardpoint. Right away, your SOG is going to be tested on Splyce. So Looney's the second SOG, right? That's what the desk was saying. So you're going to have Looney and Jerd as the two SOGs. Temp into Maddox, roll with Nolson. Okay, interesting.
Yeah, well, I mean, this is our first eyes on with it. I mean, I think the community's guesses are about as good.
I wonder why that change happened, right? Because you wouldn't have to make a change because you would just have.
Just Olsen come in and rock the Maddox.
Yeah.
Well, he's got a Maddox out at least for now, so we'll see what they opt to use throughout it. Looks like at least the lone sub is going to be Temp, and he's able to get 2 inside of the hard point. Can we check to see what Looney's using off a spawn? So Looney is going to have the SOG out as well. Picks up a Maddox off the ground, but it looks so far like it's what they were calling out.
But what about Jerd?
We check with Jerd as well. So he's got...
I saw it too. So maybe it could just be
a break. The opening break.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, we'll keep an eye on over the course of the series. It's tough to tell on a map like frequency and also, well, off of one hard point, right? Temp finally falls after he was able to get 4 kills. Envy is now broken in, but not with a ton of time remaining. 15 seconds, and Splyce have got the rotation to next. It'll be the newcomer, Nolson, holding out top balcony, waiting for the next push to come in as they're trying to nade out the back line. He's going to dip away immediately, back up with support at Temp, and unfortunately for him, he gets gunned by Silly.
So we did just see Temp there with the Maddox. He's able to find another one. So yeah, 3 SOGs off the break, but it's going to be Temp who's going to be that second Maddox. He finds 3 kills on rotation. This allows Jerd to get very aggressive, and now you're trapping them all towards this pipe side where Nolson, he's starting to hold the back. The slide is there. You hear the call-outs come in. Plays his life wonderfully. Well, Splyce should be able to lock this down.
Silly almost has his number again, but he's able to stay up. The trade comes through, the re-peek and re-challenge, and Nolson gets 3, holding that back pipes push. So far, so good for Splyce, and it's nice to see some good opening moments from Nolson, who starts out at 5-1.
Yeah, he's on the 3 spree right now. Trying to lock this down, but right now they're just trying to get the kills, and Looney's able to find 2 with that Maddox. That's going to spawn those players behind the point, exactly what they want. Temp almost catches a second. On the other side of the map, it's just Silly, who's top window, trying to lock things down, gets gunned by Nolson, and once again, plays his life so well, waits for his teammates. That's now 2 times where we've seen this guy where he's played his life well.
He's 420 off of streaks. I believe Temp was even closer as he's 8-2 with 4 in a row. Yeah, he's 150 off. So both these guys progressing towards some streaks. How do they deal with the opening onslaught? Now building for Envy. Temp, it's his job to hold the balcony, get some information, and backs up and relies on Aqua, I believe, at the back box to make the play. But as he gets his head ripped off, that's now an opening moment for Envy to start to push in, and they're going to do just that.
Yeah,
3 will fall, though.
I mean, Jerd was in the window, but Temp leaves that open because he was playing for streaks. He was 135 away. The nade ended up catching Temp. So because they had to play for streaks, it almost allows Envy to get in.
We've seen that quite a few times this year where you're playing for streaks, it ends up costing you a bit, especially when you're not able to get either set of them.
But they get right back in this. All 5 go down for Envy. They get broken. Splyce get right back in the hill. Decimate is able to find 2, but that's a nice cluster.
That Aches with the K in the window, it looked like he was just whirlwinding there, and I think Looney gunned him with a SOG from top mid.
Oh, that's not good.
And that's part of the reason they were able to get in. Maybe I called that wrong, but it didn't look pretty. 60-second advantage now for Splyce. Over to pipes we go. Looney here, Tempest available, he will fall. Aqua tries to get in for the trade, but he catches a nade for his efforts as soon as he gets in. But Splyce with a significant advantage, and we'll keep an eye on the stats, at least for Olsen throughout this. Still sitting around double positive. Temp getting some value, at least backing players up with his War Machine. As Envy struggling to find any kind of hole in the Splyce setups.
And you already have a 13-5 start for Temp, a 13-8 start for Looney. One of the big question marks is going to be around the SOG duo, Looney and Jerd. When I just look at that on paper, I think they have great teamwork, but I think at times they may lack some slaying ability. But if Looney's going to play at this level, it could work out great. And you got to think for Jerd, like, maybe it helps him out knowing, like, hey, Temp's not running the second SOG. A guy who's a little bit more selfless than Looney is, right? Just so you can sort of set each other up a little bit more.
I think Temp is an insane, incredible talent, but I would absolutely think that Jerd's job gets easier with someone like Looney.
Yeah.
100%. Just I think you nailed it from the selfless standpoint in a role like the SOG. But Envy finally, with some semblance of a setup inside of the hard point as they're trying to make a run. They had, what, 30 points basically heading into this hard point. Decimate, War Machine out, cluster out. And so far, they've been able to hold as they wrap back, but now it's Looney trying to break with the Tempest. He gets absolutely nothing out of that as 4 drop for Splyce. Envy desperately needed points on the board, and they're doing that right now. Who was that was close to streak? Somebody's won somebody off. Is that Silly that was getting close?
Hook.
Oh, Hook, sorry, okay.
He's 140 away. Try to get a bullet in, not gonna happen. Splyce, looks like they're trying to fight for top middle, and they're gonna have to go through this hill. So it's a little bit nerve-wracking right now for Splyce. Crash slam in from Hook. He's able to find the streaks, finds the third on the Temp as well. Nolson does clean him up, but that's gonna be streaks, and now an opportunity for them to get right back in the game. This has to be a big break for Splyce. They don't have any specialists. TAC 5 is in. Helps Jerd at least find the opening gunfight. Finds the second as well. And the third, okay.
Jerd just ripping through Envy. Now, thinking about the grab slam, goes for it. He goes for it. Is that going to cost him? Will half of it be gone? Yes, it will. So the grab slam, I think he called that in. Like, he was pretty weak, I think, when he went for it. Maybe just hold it or hit it right as you go through, but doesn't obviously get the value that he would have liked from that. And now this chain, Elevator over to Orange Base. It's been all Envy and what looked to be a blowout for Splyce. Envy chipping away at the lead.
That was my worry when Splyce sort of hit those final 20 seconds on that elevator hill. They didn't send anybody on the rotation. With the last 20 seconds, it looks like Splyce put a little bit of pressure here, but look at that actually happens. They put too much pressure on it. They actually spawn Envy out with 10 seconds left. They give Envy exactly what they want.
The chance for now 3 hard points in a row for Envy, and Hook's got the streak still for Pipe, so you get a nice hold here. This could be 4 in a row and a big lead for Envy. If they can get it done. So far, 2 kills go their way. Staggers the opening push from Splyce. Hook just trying to be annoying. Not really going to look for a kill from this position with the SOG, but trying to keep them at bay.
Nice trophy from Splyce, able to eat that on up. Aches, though, he gets in that elbow position. He's able to find a couple of kills. The pressure, though, in from the top window as Temp's able to find one. Nolson and Temp able to find a couple of kills. The last one on one yo. Able to go Temp's way, but because they were able to find those kills, it at least opens balcony up, and that's where the pressure will be from Splyce.
And I think it was, what, 8 and 6 from Jerd when you pointed it out. Over the stretch where Envy has started to take over, you can see those stats start to reflect it, because instead of kind of holding with the SOG and making plays, he's been having to be that entry guy trying to break in.
13 and 8 from Looney. He's a little bit more negative. Temp had a really fast start at 13 and 4.
It's easier to hold a hard point than try to break into a hard point.
Exactly. It's going to happen when you consistently have to break, but now streaks out of Hook. I don't know if he's going to find Munch. Aqua does find 2 with the KN. Well, Jerd comes off spawn. He'll have a little bit of protection, but it's going to be Splyce in the hill. Jerd flies on through with a grapple.
He's going to use the lightning as well. So both streaks are going to be used
well,
here.
That works if you're Splyce and it only finds Aches. It only finds Aches, and that's your teammate. That's not who you want to blow up. That's going to be all dead for Envy.
And what should have been that 4 hard point stretch where Envy finally take over the game ends up being a blunder from a streak standpoint and a push standpoint for Envy. And now Splyce a chance to really go ahead and punish him here. Tempest out though. It's Pharaoh that's connecting on the shots. 4 are gonna drop for Splyce, and what they can't get done with the streaks, it appears they can do with the specialists as they break on through with 20 or so seconds remaining.
Yeah, but Aqua's gonna have the Purifier if he's able to get set up. Pharaoh though able to connect with 2, so you'll have a couple of weapons to work with. Jerd's getting close to the grass slam. He's gonna get taken down, so not there yet. But it looks like we will have a lead change, a 1-point lead for Envy. Pharaoh on the next hill, 50 away from streaks as well. Can he find these final ones? Yep, he's gonna peek
nice
Aqua.
shots.
Nice shots, but there's the Purifier. Let's say that's actually Envy's Purifier, so that's gonna be Aches rocking it right now. And what was a great start, it's now getting a little bit out of hand as Envy starting to take over.
Pharaoh with the 2 streaks to use. Could he get more utility out of it than what we saw from Hook's streak? On that Pipes hard point, War Machine in from Temp. Once again, going to find 2. They chain it together with the Purifier from Aqua, and that's 5 down for Envy. They get into the hard point, but now they're trying to break the back. It's Nolson that's going to be pushing through that back orange lobby. Him and Jerd able to combo to take down the 1 remaining player. Now they've got the hard point. Now they've got the spawns. And Jerd's going to go ahead and just use the grab slam from this position to try and keep the remaining time, and it looks like they're going to be able to do just that. And the fact that Envy have to keep flooding here, they've been able to get absolutely no pressure towards that right side of the minimap.
Yeah, Jerd was 220 from streaks. Temp, he finds 3, almost finds 4. Silly was 1 bullet away, but allows them to win rotation. So now for Envy, it's be in this position to break. You have the streaks on Pharaoh. What are we going to use towards the back? You have Temp back here. Silly goes down, though. Hellstorm in. See what he can find. Nolson's gonna get inside, does find 1 on attempt. So we saw this earlier. There's the spawn in. We saw this with 100 Thieves with Octane. You can flip those spawns, but the kills and the kill feed right now all yellow, and that's the difference maker.
You're still got that safe spawn if you're Envy, but the pressure is here. Can they get time, or what can they contest? 20-point advantage now to Splyce. Silly flies in, gets 1 teammate, gets 2 of the Splyce side as well before he ends up dropping. Hook's got another big grab slam he can use. Not going to need it from that position as he's able to win the gunfight with the SOG.
Guy 5 out. Hook just trying to fly and use it. Does get taken down. See both teams just trying to hold the spawns. Hook's going to spawn on up. Yeah, Decimate trying to work the flank.
It's going to be Nolson once again in a position to deal with that opening push. He'll have a one-on-one with Decimate in the back.
Yeah, Jerd working the flank. That actually works out for Splyce because Jerd spawned behind them, and I don't think Envy was ready for it. Splyce not on the hill yet, and they're getting the kills they need, but you do have Envy inside that balcony.
They have 3 players just trying to funnel in. Hook uses the grab slam, secures the kill, snaps back out, but Looney gets the trade. However, though, he's really the only one remaining. 4 players are going to drop from Splyce. Envy now 25 points away from closing out this map 1. It was all Splyce in the early going until Envy made the big 3 hard point rally to take the lead. They can win the game here. Splyce have got to contest. Now 10 points needed for Envy. Temp, Nolson win some one-on-ones. They get into the hard point. They're at least able to contest and try to extend this to Pipes.
Silly and Aches, though, they're able to find 4 kills.
That might be it. Look how far out they are.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to be there. Plus, you have a player inside a window. Envy going to take map 1 away from Splyce.
And that really seems to boil down to, I mean, even with the maybe a bit of a blunder behind the streaks from Hook, once you break back in behind, what was it, the Tempest from Pharaoh, that really was 4 hard points in a row where they had the advantage. How big did the lead get for Splyce?
It was about 100, 110. I think it was like 140 to like 35.
Right around that ballpark.
Yeah.
And then it was basically just about a full set of rotations that Envy just dominated, and Splyce continued to fight.
Well, it was such a great start for Splyce that they keep fighting scrap time. Those 10 to 15 seconds on those 4 to 5 hills gave them an opportunity to win that game. But yeah, I mean, for Envy, it just feels like that second rotation of hills just went their way. Well, then on this last break, again, you're going to have Jerd, who spawns out in the back, and I thought that might have been a good thing. Well, do you see the TAC 5 that comes in for Envy? You have no one on the hill right now, so the balcony, that's going to go the way of Splyce, but these are the kills that needed to happen right here for Splyce. They just didn't. I think it's going to be 3 kills in the row behind the grab slam, and this spawn Splyce out.
And you had a 4-on-2.
Yeah.
That's why, at least that's what it looked like on the minimap. You had a kind of a 4-on-2. Yep. But the grab slam obviously instrumental and then be able to win that trade, but what a huge moment it was in the scheme of things for Envy to close this
And
out.
I just want to talk about, after the first rotation, we were talking about what a big first rotation like Looney had, but he slowed down. You know, Temp kept it up, but you could tell that, again, obviously that's going to happen when you're always having to fight against those close spawns. but it just felt like someone else had to step on up with Temp.
Splyce control most of the game, but it's Envy that get the final laugh. Jess talked to both squads before the match. Let's hear what they had to say.
Thank you, Clint. Yeah, so from Splyce, I actually caught up with Looney, and he didn't go into too many details, but of course, he talked a little bit about the inner turmoil that was going on the team and just said a change was needed, hence why they brought in Nolson. And also switching Temp to the Maddox, he told me a little bit about that role change, saying that it basically came down to Temp was kind of getting a little bit frustrated in his old role, and he basically said, oh, Temp is Temp, we can put him wherever, he can do whatever, and he'll still go off. But now with me being on SOG and Aqua being on the main AR, it's really, the pressure's on me and Aqua to really perform this match. He also said this was a big series, and I asked, well, Anaheim's right around the corner. Are you guys prepared? He said, we're obviously not prepared, but of course they're doing everything they can do to get there, so we'll see how the rest of the series goes. Clint and Joe, back over to you guys.
Thank you very much, Jess, as we get right back into it. Impressive victory for Envy. I guess I'm curious, with the way Envy performed last week, having a lot of close series, having very tough competition, and where Splyce is at currently with the change, like, who do you think this series is more important to right now in the scheme of things?
I think Envy, it just feels like Splyce sort of knows the situation that they're in.
It's like a reset.
It's almost just sort of like, you know, if we have to fight through the play-in bracket, we'll do it. Like, we trust in one another. When it comes to that point, we're not worried about it. Like, we can step up and go big when we have to. Again, that play-in bracket's against the bottom half of those teams. Like, I'm sure either if they stick with Nolson or make a roster change, they will be very confident no matter who they're playing.
They'd be a favorite.
Yeah, so I think for Envy, this is just sort of, this has to be a win. Like, it just does. It really, you're going up a team who is tied with you, is going through a lot of problems, has a fill-in. You have to take advantage of this.
You certainly do. And yeah, it's just, you saw like that little bubble there with what? It was Splyce, Envy, and who am I missing? Heretics. Like last week, you just saw kind of that collapse right in that bubble area where you thought maybe openings for Elevate, openings for teams like Denial. But I guess if you're these squads, you were really happy to see Elevate start out and go 0-2 this week. Like they've been maybe blessed a bit from that regard, so I think a win is even more important here.
But Heretics goes 2-0,
That's
right?
true.
So,
That's
I
true.
mean, obviously they may have some tougher matches coming up, but
I mean, the final, the fourth spot could be between these two teams.
yeah,
So,
I imagine it would be.
It very well could be. I mean, I know we still have this week in crossplay.
Yeah.
So what, 4 or 5 matches?
7.
7?
So I'll have this one and 2 more, and then 4. So yeah,
Well, 3 or 4, right? Depending on what that's.
4 crossplay.
Oh, it is?
It's
Okay.
4, no matter.
Oh, that's right. There's 8 within that.
Yeah.
You're right. Okay. I was thinking 3 and 4 split like we have within the regular division. Well, we see both snipers not able to hit their shots in the opening moments of this round 1. Pharaoh is getting pushed, and Pharaoh is in trouble, but the help now comes in. They're able to pick up the edge and keep that push at bay, but as the repeat comes in from Pharaoh, Nolson gets the first blood behind his Maddox.
And well, what do we always talk about when teams with subs or teams with newly formed rosters? If you're going to struggle in a game mode, it's typically search and destroy. It takes a lot of repetitions for those small things to get on the same page. I think Envy is going through it. As we know, they're 0-5 in the last 5 search and destroys they've played. Well, for Splyce, you know, everything's sort of against them right now, but a clean round 1 opening with that first blood from Nolson.
Yeah, it's got to feel good if you're Nolson. You get 2 kills in the round. You're able to secure that first round victory, but well, he enjoyed a pretty good start. And
well, and again, I mean, he got here last night at 11 p.m. Like,
is that what he got in, really?
Yeah, I think that's what they said on the desk. Like, they got in very, very late, so you obviously didn't listen to your analyst, but
I'm not a good listener, Joe.
Yeah. They probably got here as early as possible, and they're not going to scrim search, right? They're just going to scrim respawn, try to get on the same page.
He probably feels like he's on a different planet right now with the jet lag if he got in at 11.
Well, at least he got to go to bed as soon as he got in.
I guess that's true. It's never as bad coming this way. I feel like it's going out that way. Nolson now with the Paladin out. Whoop, goes for the shot, but this time Pharaoh gets his vengeance. So it was, what, a Nolson first blood and a Pharaoh in round 1, a Pharaoh first blood and a Nolson in round 2, as these guys can't avoid each other in the early going.
Yeah, but behind that, Splyce take a lot of map positioning away from Envy. They know the push is towards this B side, and they just take middle of the map. They're able to find Shirts, find one on the silly Jerd. Able to snap and shot punch. I believe that was Pharaoh, and that's all dead. 2 rounds in a row for Splyce.
Temp and Jerd have yet to drop. 5-0 combined between them, and Temp will be just 100 points off streaks after that defuse. Some great opening rounds from the side of Splyce.
I guess the good thing for them, like, frequency's Maybe one of the more simpler maps when it comes to search and destroy, just with those quick rotations. You don't have to be, you know, as mid-round heavy when it comes to those decision makings. A lot of the times it's 5-on-5 retakes or hitting out a bomb site.
You feel like the shorter these rounds are, maybe the better you feel about Splyce?
Probably,
like,
yeah,
keep
right,
these rounds quick, win or loss. Just try not to get into those deep rounds where you have tough positions with the role changes and the
Well, just like maps like Hacienda Gridlock, where you're constantly just trying to have to make those adjustments throughout the map. Frequency's a little bit different. It's a lot of, I'm going to snipe over you, just go, right?
Pharaoh, once again with the first blood. Back-to-back first bloods for him. Can this one turn into a round on the scoreboard?
The difference is after he hits the snipe, Aches doesn't go down, so they keep the man advantage. That was the problem last time. And Splyce, it looks like they're double sniping. They had Temp doing it, now Nolson top middle as well. So bomb being planted, man advantage for Envy, and they're going all the way around. All 5 players are wrapping the base. Well, Aqua, he's going to have a lot to work with right here.
What's the first? Snaps onto the second. That just cannot happen. Aqua gets 2, and now it's a 3 versus 3 with 30 seconds on the clock.
And he gets all that info.
Back it up.
He gets all that information. Look at the rotation that comes out of Splyce. They know where they're at. They know it was such a 5-man stack on the flank. Hook, though, trying to win a one-on-one, able to do so. Pharaoh hits another snipe, and just like that, it's a 1 versus 3, but Hook able to win those gunfights with the SOG.
I thought for sure you felt real good about Splyce after Aqua gets the 2 kills in the back. But from there on, it is all Envy. Hook goes huge. Pharaoh connects with a snipe. So I believe they combined for 4 kills in that round, and now at least able to get 1 win on the board behind those first bloods.
And here's Hook on that retake.
And that one.
Looked like Jerd was a little weak, though. From some, I don't know if he tried to hit top middle and maybe got caught, and then Jerd just goes for it.
And Hook wins the next one with, what, 8 HP?
8 HP.
Whew.
And maybe Looney has a chance there after he wins that one. His Pharaoh had a sniper.
Take a look at the snipers on either side. Pharaoh and Nolson once again. Pharaoh gets a hit marker, but not able to make Temp pay that time. Looney, he's got the kill with the SOG. Nolson comes across to try and get the pick, and Pharaoh and Nolson once again just going at it across this map. Pharaoh can't get away from the cluster that comes in, so that'll be advantage over to Splyce. And this will be the round decided more than likely right here. Aches, last man standing. Decimate blows himself over the cluster. Aches just gets away with 2 HP. Do they chase it?
Looks like they're just watching both ladders right now. He has some time to work with, misses a jump, and maybe that's a good thing because that changed up the timing.
Yeah, I think if he got through the first time, he was dead, right? He gets one, but gets traded out instantly.
Yeah, I love what Splyce did right there. So they sent Jerd, and I think it was Looney towards the elevator side, but they actually sent Jerd through top middle. He flanked through elevator, and I don't think Envy was ready for it. That's what turns into that first blood. Nolson, I don't think you have to piece out again. You have first blood, you have man advantage. Just, you know, that's one of those situations.
Well, thankfully they're able to win the
round.
Yeah. It just looked too easy for Pharaoh, right? Pharaoh 5 and 3, but Silly needs to get going. He's sitting at 0 and 4 right now. Pharaoh, a chance for another first blood, and what a snap it is. Nolson, again, I think of his 5 deaths, what, 4 to Pharaoh?
And this is what 100 Thieves had to deal with last week on this map. They were down 5-1, but it was Pharaoh who just hit snipe after snipe after snipe.
He's pretty good.
Right here. Temp is able to find 1, so 3 versus 4, at least able to bring it back. They know they have this A side open.
That makes it a whole lot more manageable than a 5v3. They'll now go to get the bomb down.
Nobody's watching over him, though. He might have some horrible timing. They're trying to watch both top, middle, and the flank. Aqua behind the bomb at least finds 1, somehow still alive, but it's Pharaoh again, who's able to connect with the snipe. Now it's all on the Looney. Has the ICR, okay, but doesn't expect a second challenge.
Tries to get in a window, gets caught. I thought after Aqua somehow got a kill from the bomb, I was like, oh my God, Splyce is going to get this done. He had no right getting a kill with that timing, but
Pharaoh hits the snipe above him.
Yep. That's what every single one of his kills is a snipe, I think. It's like 6, 7 now.
That sounds about right.
We've seen some teams where it's like a one player snipes on one map, another snipes on another. What does that usually boil down to? Is it just literally a comfort thing just within certain maps?
It's which bomb site are you playing, right? Like, a lot of the times. I just think it comes down to, yeah, like, this is a bomb site. This team likes to hit a lot, so might as well snipe over it. Yeah, typically it's just comfort on those bomb sites.
Because Splyce is a team that comes to mind. I mean, what, Looney will snipe on payload, Temple snipe just about everywhere else. Nolson's now had it out. I mean,
well, a lot of the times it's sort of like, it's one of those mid-game adjustments where it's like, I think if I snipe, I can be able to stop these consistent pushes. And Pharaoh with another hit marker. But first blood to Envy. That was Huku was able to find it on the temp, but Aqua was able to bring it back. Look at the pressure. Decimate, I don't know if he's going to be ready for this. At least finds one.
3 versus 3 now. Nolson going to go ahead and back it up. Bomb down. And just right outside their balcony, it looks like 4 Envy. So they're going to get that picked up and now think of their plan of attack as they've got 40 seconds remaining to work with. Nolson will be looking over B. Looney's got eyes on mid. And Aqua eyes on A. So they're pretty split up right now. I mean, they can take a 3-on-1 hit really to either site, and it's going to rely on Looney's rotation.
Yeah, Nolson to stay alive, because like he's not going to get a ton of information. Bomb being planted. Ace is going to push on up. Pre-fire with the ICR. So where is Looney coming from? Bomb planted. 3 versus 3. Can he catch the bomb planter? Nice shots from Ace with that ICR.
Advantage still to Envy. Aqua and Nolson developing the push. Aches wins another 1-on-1. 1 player to deal with in the back elbow. Nolson, 1 versus 3. Pharaoh will shut him down, and that's a big round out of Envy.
Yeah, it's just, it comes down to Aches. That 1 versus 1 against Looney. If that goes the way of Looney, it's a different story. But he's able to get away with his life, and they can just play from their pipes. They know they have man advantage no matter what.
I swear that's like 3 rounds now for Envy, though, where they get a clean first blood, and then next thing I know, it's 4 versus 4, like 10, 15 seconds later. They haven't done the best job just capitalizing on the early advantage. Yeah, they got the round win there, but a bit tougher than I think it needed to be. Splyce, all out A. Envy, all out towards mid-map and B. No eyes on A, so this should be a quick plant. But now as Ace comes out, what's he going to see? And that is a legion of Splyce players. He is the hell out of there, and he's out of there quickly.
Well, and you sort of like this play because what does this do when you just go towards this A side? It's just staying away from Pharaoh's sniper, B side, and top middle. Just stay away from it.
Nice
Try to
shots,
avoid it as much as possible. Ace once again finds Looney, makes it a 4 versus 4. But bomb planted, but a lot of map control over to Envy, who try to hit some shots on Aqua. Aqua somehow alive. Silly though, inside elevator, he's gonna get taken down. Aqua still up, forces Decimate to be 1 shot.
2 versus 2 now. Under 30 seconds to work with. Temp and Nolson going up against Aches and Decimate. Decimate wins his 1-on-1. Aches wins another one. That's 4 in a row for Aches. 225 off streaks, and ever closer after the defuse comes in as now Envy looks at their first lead of the search and destroy.
Yeah, and because they planted on the backside of that bomb, even if you have elevator control, you can't check the defuse, so that forces Temp to go inside that window, and that's just an easy read. You're gonna see right here. I thought Aqua did enough there, almost gets Decimate as well. He's down to 10, but they know it, right? He's seeing nobody, elevator. Able to find the saw. That's the 1-on-1 that decides the round.
Huge round for Decimate and Aches to get the 4th round in for Envy. Desperately trying to take a 2-0 edge within this best of 5. They're going to take it straight to A, and it's aggression out of Splyce. They're going to meet it. This looks like the first hard point. Here we go. 1 team kill in for Splyce. Jerd, though, going big, gets another. The advantage was to Envy, but it looks like it's going to be Splyce coming out on top.
That's perfect.
And it was a 3-on-5, right, at that spot?
Yeah.
Like, I got to take a look at the minimap again because that was kind of chaos, obviously. But when the first push came in, I'm pretty sure it was a 3-on-5 numbers to Envy. Jerd even gets a team kill in this sequence, and somehow they still come out with the numbers.
Well, you just don't expect it if you're Envy, right? Just a hard counter, and that's exactly what Splyce want to do. Again, these last 2 rounds, their goal is avoid Pharaoh with the sniper. Just go to this inner bomb site, just try to not let him find a pick top middle or towards those B pipes.
Well, and how much harder does his job get once you're sniping in transition to a site first set up and hard aiming an incoming push?
And here's the adjustment, no sniper. And they're playing towards this A site, and Splyce reads it correctly. So you know what? They're probably going to stack towards B, or towards A. Let's just go to B. You have Temp, who's watching the flank. He has to be careful, though. He's going to be the lone man. I thought Envy was going to push on through there, not. So this gives that opportunity for Temp maybe to make it play top middle, or just rotate back towards his pipes.
Nice grenade in. Doesn't do as much damage as I thought it would onto Jerd. He's still able to stay up, and yeah, the flak will assist him greatly there. They trade 2 for 2. Hook gets the 2 for Envy. Now 3 on 3.
Cluster buys time.
Not a lot of time to work with. Yeah, 20 seconds to go on the clock. Looney and Timp go big. Last guy up is Pharaoh, and he gets cut down. Mid-round reads from Splyce pay it off.
Yeah, great call there. Jerd with the heads-up play to have flak jacket on. Him and Aqua both find kills towards the front side.
It felt like that frag hit him for like 10. Like,
yeah.
It just didn't look like it did anything.
Again, what's the trend? No sniper on Pharaoh. That's been the difference maker. That was the difference maker for Envy.
I mean, he hasn't got a kill since
he's
3-4 rounds ago, basically,
yeah,
right?
Maybe like 3 rounds ago. But he does have it back out. Well, he's going to find a couple of targets. His Splyce is getting aggressive towards his B side, but they're going to play inner. Temp gets aggressive and smokes him with the Maddox. What a shot from Temp.
Yeah, you don't see that often at that range. Those are some shots. Usually, you see an ICR in the kill feed when that goes down, but wow, does Pharaoh get peeled off the map? And now Splyce with advantage in the round that could decide things here in map 2.
Jerd does get taken down, but a quick trade. They're just trying to play their numbers. This is exactly what Splyce wants. The hit marker comes in for Nolson, 2 versus 2, and be able to bring it back.
And it looks like they're going to stick right on the plant. They're just going to go ahead and get it down.
Might get caught.
The aggression's going to come in. Nolson with the nice read. Aches wins the first one-on-one. Now to clutch up at a 1v2. He's at 57 HP. He's hiding, but you can't hide from Nolson. The super sub comes in, finds the final play, and Splyce even up the series.
I like that from Nolson, right? Able to find the kill on the bomb planter, and then in a one-on-one to decide the game. He sticks to his advantage. Maybe sometimes you see some players back on up, realize the situation, but he's like, you know what? I still see you're weak. He stopped his heal. I think that's why he goes. And Ace is like, well, I'm screwed.
Yeah, he did not really have many options there.
Well, what now, Envy? 0-6?
Yeah, their search is good.
Nope.
Bad.
Pharaoh sniper's good.
Yeah, that's true. But once you eliminate that from contention, yeah, that was nuts. That reminds me of like back in IW when someone hit like K-bar shots that were like in V4 range. Like, unless we do, I'd be like, dear Lord. But some great shots from Temp. A big win from Splyce. Control next. Control on C side between Splyce and Envy is coming up next, but during the intermission, Joe and we saw Temp, and Joe's like, what the hell were those Maddox shots? And I can't repeat what Temp said, because it's not safe for Twitch or broadcast television or anything in between those things, but he's feeling good. His shot's on point. I love Temp, man. Let's just say he is feeling very, very confident where his shot is right now.
I mean, he just challenged, like, with a Maddox from that range.
Especially with the way Pharaoh's been playing, too. Like, the way he's been sniping, he said, screw it. That was nasty stuff. But
I mean, what do you even do if you're Pharaoh? You're like, died.
All right, well,
you didn't miss.
nice shots.
Okay.
But Control Seaside going to be the next map in the agenda for these two teams. Envy struggles in Search and Destroy obviously continue, but the respawn has been much better. It's the reason they've had a lot of extended series. They need to get a Control win here, try and rebound from just a tough Search loss yet again.
Yeah, another one, and I think for Splyce, things are looking up. You know, you win that game 2, Search and Destroy. Game 1, they had an opportunity to take it as well. It just feels like, I don't know, Splyce are confident. They're playing with no pressure, as you would expect when you're playing with a sub.
And Temp said it on Hot Mic, like, with all the turmoil going on with different teams, like, there's two outcomes you could have. You have a team that just comes up and gets smoked, or a team that with no pressure steps up and rises to the occasion.
Yeah, like, it would not surprise me, like, if, I don't know, somehow Splyce with Olsen, yeah, like top 4 at Anaheim. Like, if they just go on a crazy run, it wouldn't surprise me. It really wouldn't.
It's possible. I don't think
they have the talent.
I don't think any outcome would surprise me with Splyce, but I feel that way about several teams, to be honest with you. Like, top 16, top 4, okay, yeah.
Same with Envy.
Yeah, right? Yeah, I feel that way with a lot of teams. I literally don't feel confident about anyone outside of, like, 100 Thieves, Optic United. I've said this multiple times. That's like the only teams I feel like I can peg for top 4. Outside of that, God, I don't know. It's going to be an interesting event at Anaheim, that's for sure. And if you haven't got your tickets yet, make sure you get them ASAP. Otherwise, I'm not letting you in. Round 1 of Control.
Well, yeah, they wouldn't be able to get in. They didn't have tickets.
Yeah, I just want to make it sound like I'm more important than I am. Like,
no.
I've got the final say on who gets in, Joe.
Right, okay.
You want to come to Anaheim, you go through me.
Well, you just buy a ticket.
Yeah, okay. That makes sense too, Joe.
Huh?
We're having some fun today. Well, we have another F5 in what has been a long... Well, it actually works out because we got a dinner tonight with some of our colleagues, and I think one of the guys coming in from LA has like a 3-hour flight delay, so
we're good.
It sort of works out for our schedule anyway, because we got a meeting after this anyway. Contested thus far, minimal life advantage to Splyce just dwindled away. I think it was as much as 4, now down to 2. Envy still looking for their first opening. There's a one-on-one here at the front take. Decimate versus Looney. Decimate able to take it. Decimate guns a second one after taking down Looney as well. And now's their chance to pounce. They're going to go ahead and try to hit a 4-stack inside of the point as Hook continues to hunt out front. He will get dropped, but Decimate's play at mid-map has alleviated a lot of the pressure.
Well, you thought that the 2 kills from Decimate would probably give them this zone, but instead Nolson finds 3 kills. Envy just get a little too aggressive. I thought they could have just stacked it. They try to get a little push out and make it a little bit cleaner. But what it allows Splyce to do is get right back in it. They don't even have 2 ticks on B. You're down to 35 seconds. I thought Decimate did it. Instead, now you have a chance to retake this if you're Splyce.
At 14-14. Do you throw any more lives away? It looks like the answer is yes. They continue to go at it, and the trades do not go in their favor. Well, Temp makes it a little bit more bearable. Injured. Shots about as shaky as they can be, but he gets the kill and follows it up with a melee. So you keep it all square. You lose the point. Not a whole lot shifts from a 14-14 to a 10-10.
Oh, I got nervous.
Yeah, it can get away from you. It can get away from you. Envy now building for the opening into Church. Nice shot from Nolson with the Maddox out front. Temp does it in the back.
Team kill, so they're gonna go. Yep, they're just gonna push that.
From what was a 10-10, now a 9 versus 5. You've got one chance of this if you're Envy. And unfortunately, when we talk about late round heroics towards the A site on C side, Team Envy have been the victims to that result, not the ones doing the punishing.
Well, it typically doesn't happen early, right? Because it's usually behind a base specialist, a war machine, a grab slam, whatever it is. Instead, it's a 7 versus 2. They're trapping them inside a barrel. Is a good first round. As Jerd's now on a 4 streak. He had another big round from Temp. He was like 10-7, so Everybody's stepping on up.
Nice place from Splyce, but do you think maybe at that moment where Decimate gets the 2 kills, if that push goes a little bit? Because they could have came.
This is it right here. This is it. Nolson, you see one player gets aggressive. The second one, Aches flies on out, and he loses that, and then they go.
It could have been point and like, what, a 4 or 5 life advantage. Instead, you come out of that like all square at 10-10.
Splyce is going to try and retake it. Like, they're going to re-push it. That's what Nolson is waiting for. Instead, they get caught by pushing out. Nolson finds 3 kills, and then they end up getting that zone, but you waste a couple of lives. You allow Splyce to get set up.
And maybe more than any other map, having a life advantage from B to A is it's huge. It's absolutely huge, and you walk away with nothing there.
Splyce trying to get aggressive towards B. Jared trying to fly in, but that's a nice cluster to slow that push down. Looney, though, he's going on a big flank. He's got that silence. Can he make the play? Splyce just have to wait for him right now. He's not able to spot anything. The kills are going down, and Looney's just not going to be involved. A little bit unfortunate. He's obviously calling just stay up, like I'm on the flank.
Well, everyone's dead. Now the flank comes in. Silly's like, what the hell?
The spot Decimate as well. That might be the information they need. Jerd almost wins the gunfight, but the trade is there. But right now you have that life advantage for Envy. And they're actually going to go towards A as Looney trying to find those spawn kills, has some teammates to help him out as well.
Silly, some crisp shots to win the first, but unfortunately for him it was a 1v3 towards the back steps. Decimate comes out, also hits the shots before he drops, so they're doing what they need to do. From this position, you go 1 for 1, you have the closer spawn, you're in a great spot. There's still 1 player inside of the objective. They haven't managed to get 1 point done quite yet. Hook winning gunfights on the other side of the map towards B.
Gotta take it, eh? No, you'll take the take.
Down 4 lives.
Get a little aggressive. Yeah, but they're just trying to keep those players. They're trying to back them up from those the spawn. So job done, because you get 3 players on B. You're just trying to get those players to come back, help them in the spawn, so you can get some map position. Somehow stays alive. That's 3 dead. Life advantage disappeared.
I was just about to say, like, if you're gonna give up those lives to get the opening at B, you got to try to equalize the next push, and they did exactly that. From 4 down to 1 nearly instantly. You'll get a minute now added to the clock. You got the 1 tick in a day, just 2 more needed. Specialist-wise, what? Temp, almost a war machine. Grab Slam, Tech 5, sort of loading up. And on the other end, Silly is, what, a kill away from Tech 5.
You can tell just how aggressive Temp's playing is, too. Like, he has 23 engagements, where Looney has 12. Typically, Jerd, one of those guys who plays very aggressive. He's at 16. Just to tell you with how fast they're playing. Looney flies on in. Temp's able to find 1. War Machine now out. Well, might catch them off guard. You have 1 Flak Jacket out. He's able to predict the player that drops front, but he has Flak Jacket. Can they get the second tick? Almost do. Temp's the last one left. Aches, Hook, able to find the kills.
And the 2 other players from Splyce just go ahead and back it out. You got to play your lives at this point in the game. Only 10 remaining as they're trying to build this from top church. Hook is hearing all of it, and he's set up to deal with this. Is he ready for 2? He doesn't even get 1, but Silly, he's there for the trade. 4 players still up from Splyce in a forward position. Desperately, Looney trying to get involved in the action. Nolson and Temp clear just about everybody out of it, so they're still here making sure the clock is not going to bleed. Nolson going big once again.
Cluster.
3 in a row. Temp going off as well as he gets 2 before he drops the stun towards the back to keep the pushing.
They're going to stack
Bay. And now look how quick it's going. You've got 3 inside. They've got to go over the top. Hook's going to try and get in. They don't want a similar result to what happened against E United. They just got to trade 1 for 1 inside. They can't get it done. 1 player left up. Decimates the last man. He's going to fall.
Temp and Nolson.
And Splyce get it done. And God, it reminds me, I know it's a different scenario, but it reminds me what happened against him against the United, man.
Look at Temp right now.
Temp and Nolson kill, what, 6 or so between the 2 of them in that stretch?
The big play is, too, he wins this gunfight. He helps out Nolson, destroys his trophy, but he has a cluster, and he puts it right where it needs to. So the 1 player that slides in gets weak, finds a kill, and that buys them time to get on top of this tank. Talked about just the impact that cluster players have, and I mean, there's some of the reason that the best players in the world are on them. You can see it.
It's got to feel good to see Temp and Nolson, the new guy, and the superstar, getting it done, and now taking the 2-0 edge. Jer with this grab slam, getting right in, but you can see they're a little bit scared. They're playing very passive at your envy.
Well, they're trying to throw a bit of a fake, right? You have 1 player towards A. That's going to be Hook, who's trying to go on a long run. But Jerd playing for information, able to get it. Looney slides on out, gets caught. Jerd, though, still going to use it. Find 2 kills, trying to play for streaks now. Not able to.
It's just so close to connecting on the shots, but not quite able to do it. The passive approach, I thought at first, maybe they're worried about the grab slam on the opening. It ends up working out. Now Hook is going to wrap back. They're going to opt to stack this, and they have the War Machine to use. Decimate maybe delays the reinforcements coming in as Pharaoh wins a nice one-on-one at the top of the mid steps. 26-22, life advantage to Envy.
Jerd's pushing from middle. He found the opening. Able to find one, but this should open it up well.
Tell you what,
comes in.
It's impressive to see Jerd at 16-10, considering a couple of the gunfights we've had on the screen. It seems like the song's getting away from him whenever we go over to his POV, but statistically, he's having a map.
Yeah, on the other end, sort of, again, someone is going to struggle when you have role changes. Looney, 6-12, not having the best map, but hey, they're up 2-0 in this game.
Yeah, you'll take the 2-0 advantage. They bring it a little bit closer as they get 3 kills in the kill feed. Nice win by Aqua as well. And they've now got to hold for 1:30. And you'll have, what, Tempest for both end of things. Hook's getting very close to his grab slam. Aqua, almost a vision pulse for Splyce.
You heard Temp say the grapple, he's grappling over. But Decimate through the nade, so bad coordination out of Envy. And well, that's going to be 4 dead. And a lot of map position in what was, a 5 or 6 life advantage, now 1. Oh, they're trying to get Nolson out of here. They know he's here. Frag in, hits him in the face. Somehow he's alive, though. Not able to find one. Got a little scary there.
Temp, I think, just tosses a cluster right up in. I mean, Nolson gives a call that there's 3 players. Temp, just so quick at finessing, gets 2, 3.
He's still alive.
Somehow still stays up as the help comes in from Jerd. 8 versus 8, 30 seconds remaining. You still have Jerd pushed up the map. They're just trying to make sure they can't get anywhere close, and now the tip is going to come in from Looney. He spots that 2 have rotated over towards the barrel side of the map.
He's going to have to hit a shot. He has to hit 1. We're going to try to fly on in here, probably behind a grapple of Hook. He's got to hit a shot. It'll win them the round. He's able to connect it on the Decimate. Pharaoh, though, he's going to use his, but Pharaoh gets taken down. You win the trade. Now a 5 versus 3. Grassland up for Hook. Connects with 1, 3 versus 2, but there we go. Splyce now take a 2-1 edge in the series.
Splyce with a big victory into control. Temp feeling himself right now. The emotions couldn't be different between Temp and Eggs.
Can we see the scoreboard? I would love to see the damage output. I don't know. I just, we talk about specific players. Yeah, Temp's at 5,200 damage.
Look at him compared to everybody else in the lobby.
Like, he is just taking over this series. And he had an impressive game 1 as well. Like, there's a few players, he just plays with so much confidence. In sort of your question earlier to the desk, does Hook need to play at a superstar level? He does now. Now it's time to wake up.
And we didn't actually talk about this on the desk. I wish we would have. We can talk about it here a little bit. But there has always been a little bit of a rivalry between like Hook and Temp, especially from like maybe Hook doesn't feel it as much, but Temp absolutely does.
They're just really good friends. They like to play each other.
But like anytime you ask him about it, he's like, he's trash. Like I smoke him every time we play.
They're like best friends.
I know. But like there's a little bit of a rivalry there for sure, where you know there's something added for Temp to come in here and try and smoke him without question.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm smoking Fat Baby. Wow, they come up with a new nickname with those curls flying on the screen.
When he's lost some weight, he's not really Fat Baby anymore.
I know, that's just it. That's Tim's nickname.
I know.
Fit Baby.
Curl Baby.
Curl Baby, I like that. But yeah, no, I think they were right in the sense of maybe you don't need the superstar performance. So yeah, when Temp is going off like this, someone's got to combat it. And it seems the most likely of
that's what we talked about on Trading Shots was around Hook, because Ben was like, Hook, he's got to play better. And now I'm kind of like, yeah, he kind of does. But they just don't have as tough as a schedule as they did last week when you're really calling on Hook. When playing 100 Thieves, when you're playing at United, that's when like you don't need to second guess
yourself. You picked the right winner.
Yes, I know.
Listen, it's tough, I'm sure, as the host to deal with the cerebral prowess that is me.
No.
Just Call of Duty knowledge leaking out of my ears and every bit of me, my pores.
No. Yeah. You're welcome.
That's what I have you here for, though.
Yes.
I yell a lot, I get excited, I try to not fumble over my words, and you break it down for the viewers at home.
That's it.
Dear Lord, you're good at what you do.
You too, Clint.
Makes me feel feisty.
Clint.
None of that, Joe. None of that. But Hacienda Hardpoint coming up next. Splyce with an opportunity here to get the victory and a rebound from a putrid week last week. Temp has been on one. Can Hook answer the call?
Well, Hacienda Hardpoint. It's definitely Envy's pick. Able to find 3 kills, make it 4. This is one where Hook has a little bit more freedom to sort of move around the map, right? You can just mantle up and down on those hallways so quick. Play bottom middle, use a lot of different routes with that grapple. So
it's a lot more places to finesse versus something like a frequency. That is for sure. Find openings in behind enemy lines. He can be a terror on this map, and well, he started off nicely at 4-0. Splyce yet to put a point up on the board. Nobody really in the hard point in the early going after Envy got their 20 points. At number 3, though, is Nolson, the substitute, set up towards back garage. Maybe trying to catch somebody off guard, and he's able to do just that. The early rotation is going to pay off. His teammates starting to rally back towards garage for him, but rock control will be to Envy, so they're going to be able to reinforce this very, very quickly. Nolson, I thought, was going to get caught out twice, but somehow he's able to stay up. Still holding towards Lambo with the ICR. Okay, he's just snapping everywhere.
Oh, and remember, I mean, early on in that frequency when they were winning early, or early in that game on that first rotation, a lot of the times the first guy to rotate behind the base was Nolson, right? He seems to be playing a little bit of a slower play style for them, right? Just sort of out-rotate to your hills. You guys do your thing. And it worked out. It seems to be working out right here on this garage. He's able to find that kill. That turns into a lot of control for Splyce. Should be a good hill as they got a 30-point lead.
So 0 points put up for Splyce in the first hard point. It's all Envy. Second hard point, 0 points put up for Envy. It's all Splyce. The difference, Splyce is going to get 50-ish points off of that second hold. So the pressure to Envy to hold in the early going. Pharaoh's POV as he set up top bar, takes the first heal, slides, and almost cuts down Aqua. Hits him to 30 or 40 HP. But Looney's now just opened up the flank. He wins a gunfight over towards Well and Arch's side of the map. So now the collapse can come in. Envy players getting picked apart, and here they go. The contested into the hard point for Splyce. Jerd cleans one up. Looney picks him apart on the other side. What a play from Looney to make sure it's a battle of 2 fronts as he breaks in.
Yeah, nice job on that pinch. Now they know the pressure is going to be coming from that balcony. Nolson still in the ICR, so you have double ICR out for Splyce. Well, Nolson 5 and 6, but it's Aqua 10 and 4. And when we talked about really the role changes, I was most excited about Aqua being back in that ICR position. When you just talk about his Call of Duty career, it just makes the most sense to me.
And he's a freak talent that it feels like we haven't highlighted as much this year. Maybe based on
he had a slow last year, right? I think last year was his first year where he wasn't considered one of the best players in the world. Like before that, he in those advanced movement games, he absolutely was.
I think last year was without question the hardest title for like natural talent just to shine through. It was. Splyce now hit the 100-point mark. Their lead building. Jerd gonna go ahead and call on a streak. It spots a lot and it hits a lot. 3 are going to drop. Rock control to Splyce. Still 30 seconds to go here. As Envy have put up 16 points since the first hard point.
Remember, this is what we saw though in that first hard point. Then a flip switched. But it's just, is it gonna be too late this time around? Can you get some more streaks on the Splyce members, put them away? I think that was Looney who was close to him. Aqua able to snap onto that second. Looney got taken down, so not a second set of streaks, but a lot of time, and that 70-point lead, and now Temp has a lot of players trapped outside, but doesn't get taken down.
Talked about the fact that he had the 20 opening points. Hook started out 4-0. Hook 6 and 11. So he has gone 2 and 11 since the opening, and I think the player you hear getting loud is Temp on the Splyce side of the stage. As Temp is double positive at 12 and 6.
Just having fun, right? Like, I don't know. Like, it just feels like maybe the roles are more comfortable. A lot of the chatter that we heard around Splyce is they weren't happy with Accuracy's performance. They haven't been, right? Like, when we've talked about roster mania from time and time again, a lot of the opening positions were sort of, you know, Accuracy.
It could be a performance thing and maybe a personality thing too. Like, I love Accuracy, but he's obviously bumped heads with people in the past. So I could see if they're struggling and he's frustrated, I could see him maybe dragging down the morale a little bit. That certainly could have been part of it. You bring in Olsen, it's like, hey, pal, let's have some fun. And so far, it is working as Aqua is just one by one, destroying everyone that gets into water. Finally, it's the Sog of Hoop that's able to close him out, but the pinch comes in from mid-map. And of course, it's Temp. Temp, I thought was going to get traded out, but he stays up. He gets a second behind the cluster. Jerd gets two, and Splyce control once again as the trade comes in on Silly.
They were perfect here at Garage last time. It takes a grab slam, attack 5 boost, maybe to be a little bit more perfect once again on this rotation. Temp able to find 2 kills again. But yeah, I mean, the Death talked about it. Maybe the vibes are a little bit better right now. Just
they have to be. I think they have to be.
Things flowing. That's what we knew this Splyce roster, not short of talent whatsoever, and they're showing it here.
It's tough for Envy though. I mean, you think maybe you have a chance to, I don't know, find an opening on a weak or a messy team considering a sub's coming in. It looks like it's the exact opposite, unfortunately for them.
Oh, and the Stars and that Sog duo, Decimate, Hook struggling right now. I mean, there's not really a bright spot, but yeah, I think we talked about really the start that Hook had to where he's at now, where he starts 4-0 in this game. Not contributing a lot.
And I think you're surprised to see that on a map like this, too. Temp, though, on the other side has not slowed down. The lead still
they already have a
floating around 100.
Aqua's using he's 21-9 on a 5 spree, like.
Three go down for Envy. 4 go down for Envy. The 5th is tagged up, and Pharaoh should be traded out, and that's exactly what'll happen. So all 5 are going to drop. A lot of friendly fire there, but they get into the hard point.
Lightning in from Aqua. He's able to find the Hellstorm as well. Find this final 10.
And now they have a Hellstorm to use for next.
Decimate used the War Machine. That's all the explosions that you heard going off on that Fences Hill, but we saw Aqua put down that trophy. So he was rotating on over, calling in that vision pulse. He's gonna force all these guys inside of top halls, right where they want them. Looney wins a one-on-one. Aqua continues.
44 more points needed for Splyce to close this out. Temp just got 2 with the cluster. Nolson cleans it up. He has a War Machine to use, and he's gonna call it in. Temp War Machine out. Just keeping them at bay, sliding out and challenging. He will drop, but delays Envy from getting closer to the hard point for at least just a moment. Temp 26-15, Aqua 25-10, and Nolson 20-13. Statistically, it could not be more different on 2 sides of this matchup. Splyce are absolutely cooking Envy right now.
He is 29-10. 29-10 from Aqua.
I think maybe he feels comfortable with an ICR in his hands, Joe.
Holy smokes.
He
shuts down the grab slam. What is going on?
He is absolutely doing it
They
all.
just fried Envy.
Jerd into the hard
They
point.
got a sub. Oh my goodness.
One contestant.
Wow.
Splyce need one more break. Aqua a chance to get a kill. Doesn't matter.
They got a sub.
The ICR, anything but the substitute. And Nolson came to play. And Splyce ended with some added emphasis there in the map 4.
Because let's get it, Nolson, you beast.
Oh my God.
You gotta feel good if you're Nolson. You played well. I can't point out any mistakes. Obviously, game 1, I think that was sort of just the team altogether, just throwing away that lead. But after that, they bounce back into search and destroy. They make the adjustments, avoiding Pharaoh's sniper.
I just like Splyce is having fun.
Yeah, we haven't seen this.
They did not have fun last week.
No.
Splyce is having fun.
Yep.
And I know it's one series, and we'll see if this honeymoon phase lasts or if they can keep it up. But I suddenly, just internally, went from feeling really bad about Splyce to like, all right, Splyce is a different team.
Yeah.
That was fun to watch.
It was.
I mean, unless you're an Envy fan, not fun to watch then.
No.
Are you a bit shocked how that series ended, considering the fact that this up?
I mean, I thought there was a chance for Splyce. Like, again, we talked about it. It wouldn't surprise me if they won this. They have the talent to do so. But I thought it was going to be closer, like a 3-0 in control. Yeah. I don't even know how many points Envy got in the last game. It wasn't a lot.
90, somewhere in that ballpark. But Temp had a monster series, but Nolson's got to be the guy we hear from. He's the substitute coming in for accuracy, and we got him on stage for your PlayStation Instant Reaction.
Thank you, Clint. What was the transition like, and what was kind of your reaction when you found out you'd be called in to substitute in for this week?
I mean, at first I was scared, but because I felt sorry for leaving my old teammates, but I can't give away an opportunity to play with Splyce, so it was pretty easy.
And how have things been going as far as fitting in with the team and the new roles with you coming on in?
I mean, it's been great, but in scrims it's a bit weird because these play a lot faster than my old team, which is hard to adjust to. And just going overall good.
Glad to hear it. So for this series, what was the big difference between the first hard point and the second hard point, where you just came in so dominantly on the second hard point?
In the first hard point, I personally started slow, and I think that we just kind of choked that with rotation kills and losing rotations and stuff like that, which costed us. But on the second hard point, I played a lot better, and I think this Splyce's old team was just a lot better at Hacienda hard point. So, and we just 100-point clubbed them, free win.
Well, definitely very well played. Thank you so much. This has been your PlayStation Instant Reaction. Over to Clint in the desk.
Thank you very much, Jess and Nolson. A fantastic showing in his first series, but Tip's up on stage. Yeah. You guys are having fun again.
Oh, yeah. That was the funnest COD I've played in years. For real. That was a great time.
So, all right, obviously accuracy maybe wasn't fitting the squad with the results, but was there conflicts there with like personality too? Like, how were you able to have so much more fun this series?
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's the biggest problem. Gameplay-wise, I mean, we knew what to do, honestly. We, like, literally created how to play this game.
Just a clash of minds
within that team? We literally created how to play this game, and then we stopped doing what we created. That just shows you that we just hated each other. Simple as that.
It's a chemistry thing. Like, sometimes teams, you start to hate each other, and it's like, what do we do now?
Yeah.
You got to make a roster change, get the vibes back.
Why'd you decide to switch to full-time medics?
You see that? That's why. That gun is broken, bro. I'm literally crack aiming everywhere, bro. Like, come on. You need an entry? I'm there. Crack aimed? Like, that's the most OP gun I've ever seen. That's why I'm running the Maddox.
What happened in that gunfight where you smoked Pharaoh with the
snipe out? You don't get recoil. You don't get no recoil on the crack aim. Cross-map crack aiming. No one is touching me, bro. So simple as that.
All right.
Do you think that you're a bigger glitch on the map than Hook?
Yes.
Yeah,
look at that series.
He's got to be. Hook had a good game one. Tiny did too, and then he just took over.
Are you the best player in the game right now?
Yes. What? You see the crack aim?
All right, Donnie, what are your thoughts on Aqua's game 4? It's the best. That was like the best series
he's played like ever.
Yeah, that was great.
Does he feel a lot more comfortable now with the ICR on his hands?
I mean, I hope so. He was getting absolutely turned on with a Maddox, bro. I don't know how, bro. Look at this gun, bro. Are we serious? Like, come on, bro.
So, all right, so you went from a team last week that I think a lot of us had you in contention for maybe winning a tournament, but after last week, I think you were kind of out of that conversation. Do you feel like you're right back in the mix now with the role changes and Olsen in?
I'm not going to get too ahead of myself. I mean, we're still
one series?
Yeah, it's one series. It's a league match. Like, Envy's not playing good either.
That's true.
And to be honest, I never thought, like, Envy was, like, some super top caliber team. So, I mean, if we beat 100T like that, then great. Then I'll think we can win. But, like, that was just Envy, to be honest. No offense to them.
No, I get it.
It's just like, I'm not going to get crazy, like, oh, my God, we're about to win Anaheim.
What are your first thoughts as Nolson as a new teammate?
It's actually pretty good.
How's his comms like?
They could be better. I mean,
well,
I never
played first game. Maybe gotta warm up to a little bit.
At the game, he's good. Okay. But like, I'm just not used to playing with him. Like, he's actually pretty good at the game, though.
So, well, it feels like you guys are just gonna get better and better from this point, I would imagine, right?
I mean, hopefully we don't just win one series and lose the rest of them.
You come in tomorrow and just get absolutely
that would suck.
Well, so you guys obviously won the series. You played great. It was a good win. But were there any maybe negative takeaways, like stuff you really need to work on going forward?
Oh, yeah. I mean, we're not that good. I mean, we got to work on a lot. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and just name all the stuff we need to work on.
Anything major, though, that stood out? Like, hey, we got to fix that?
Nah, nothing major. We know how like I said, we made
created the game,
how to play
apparently.
the game, but we
Okay,
chose
all right.
not to play that way.
Can you believe you
Soul's
haven't
gonna be
been
working
running
at
the
Treyarch.
Maddox for like?
I mean, I
the past
basically
2
have.
months? It's crazy. Yeah, on some maps.
What do you say on Hot Mic? You're the Overlord, Mr. Do-It-All?
Yeah,
What's the next gun for you?
just some Maddox. I'm gonna stay with it. Any OP gun, future CODs, I'm taking it, bro. I can't believe people get away with this, bro. Seriously. It makes no sense. People really get egos off the Maddox cracking. Unbelievable, bro.
Dear Lord, I'm very glad we brought you up for this. You're infinitely better at this than Jay. But let's go ahead and take a look at the leaderboard now, where the standings are after Splyce get that victory, because you guys are right in that bubble, right? That's a big win.
That was
This
a huge win.
this could come down to like you and Envy for that top
we were
4
talking-
Oh,
spot.
no, that was a big win.
Yeah.
That was a great win. Feels fantastic.
We were talking about
it's a
that
great
because
feeling,
you guys
brother.
have been tied for like the last 4 days. So it's like when you guys played each other, that's when the separation was going to come in. So that was a big win for.
No, that was huge. That was huge.
All right, well, we're going to talk now about our Astro MVP candidates, as we have one each day throughout the course of the week. And it's going to be, I'm just kidding, it's not you. It's going to be Priesta from 100 Thieves.
We must have
is
picked this
nasty.
earlier. Must have picked this. Priest had a great series. So did Donnie. There were a lot of standout performances today, but Priest in general, like the second half of this series, he just took over. Especially on this map, he was just going off. And you know, this guy's brought so much to the table for this 100 Thieves roster. He's really made them.
It's tough. A lot of times we do pick these before the final series.
Well, we have
They
to.
prepare a package for it and stuff like this. But you've been playing against Priesta. Is he one of the more difficult players for you to play against? I know you said
think
like
he's
no
one of
one's
the
like
best
that hard, but he's tough.
I think he's one of the best players. He's a top 10 player in the world, in the whole world. He's very, very good. I love the way he plays. I feel like he based for his team. He has a super hard role, and he's good at his role.
He does.
He's like right, in my opinion, he's like right behind Kyler at that like entry frag role. Kyler's just different.
Right.
But like Priesta's right there with him.
There you are. There you're number one.
See that guy right there? That guy's different, bro. Oh my God.
What gun
Can
he's
you
got.
believe this, Chris? I know you see me. Unbelievable. Bro. 500?
Wait, what Crowder? Why is Crowder like a
500?
cutoff right now? You going for a run or something?
Oh my God.
You going to the gym? Yeah, you need it. Good luck. No, I'm kidding. You look great. I look much worse.
Need a raise, bro.
You need a raise? Wait, is this like straight
Back
up the
me up.
Splyce?
I endorse
Hey.
it.
Up here in a Balenciaga hat talking about I need a raise.
Give him the Supermax, man.
For real, bro. My crack game,
This guy's.
it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. That's all I'm gonna say.
You have been playing
It's
very,
unbelievable.
very well.
For real. Hey,
He's filled to the brim, typically with confidence. He is not lacking.
It works.
It has absolutely been working for them. But let's take a look at the schedule going into tomorrow. We had an insane set of series today, 3 Game 5s. The final one goes to a 4th game. But you see what? 100 Thieves take the series. Today they're able to get the win. They'll be matched up against Elevate tomorrow, but that's going to do it. We're going to be heading into Wednesday. We had some surprises today. Maybe Splyce, we weren't sure what to expect coming in with the sub. I was a little bit surprised. You guys played way better than I ever thought you
Come
were
on,
going
man.
to do.
Out of 10, how easy was it? 1 out of 10. Where'd you rank it?
that serious?
Yeah.
3. Could have been easier, but like,
Well, hey, you got the victory, and that's all that matters. We'll look
Tomorrow, Doc.
forward to see how Splyce can improve, but that'll do it. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you for watching.